which is nice.
Nice.
Yeah, we're actually
Was
live
it
right
one
now, by
week?
the way.
What happened?
We're live right now, by the way.
Oh, we are? Okay. No worries.
Yeah, it was like a week. It was actually, let me just do an introduction. What up, SEO pros? Today we're here with Ryan, and he's going to be our interviewee for the day. No, I'm just kidding. No, we're just doing a random hangout while I clean my room. But if you guys want to jump on, talk about SEO, you're welcome to come on. But yeah, anyways, Ryan and I were talking about how I got banned from uh, Facebook for a week because I wound up like posting this checklist and then I responded to too many people and they banned me for a week. So yeah, tomorrow's my last day.
Nice.
Oh, shoot, I need to turn this off. Okay.
You found out when the conference is in Orlando?
Yeah, it's the 17th of March.
March 17th. All right, write this down.
He just gave me the affiliate link now, so I'm gonna ask him for some tickets to give away as well. Actually,
Awesome.
I need to make a
Where is it
reminder.
at?
Uh, I don't actually know. If you look up 3XC. Oh wait, here. Let me just get the link. I'll just get it really quick. Hold on. Uh,
Sweet. That week is perfect. I know in 1 week in March I'll be up in DC, so I was hoping it wasn't that week. That
yeah,
works out perfectly.
there it is. I put it in the chat.
Is it during the weekend or is it during the week?
Um, I actually don't really know.
Let's see. March calendar. Hopefully it's during the week or weekend, I should say. Teachers get pretty pissed off. There's classes.
Trying to figure out how to. Oh, I guess it doesn't really matter. Um, by the way, if you guys want to jump in here, I made the post with the link on my Facebook page. I think it's only like 2 people watching. So what have you been up to, dude?
Not much. I've been pretty much, actually, quite a bit, to be honest. I've been working on fixing my website so I can start ranking, building out citations every day, getting those ready with that, working on a bunch of on-site issues I had. Been working with a few different potential clients, jumping on calls. Should be finding about 2 later this week or next week if they're going to be signing on or not. They're not large clients by any means. One's going to be $400 a month with a $100 audit. Other one's between 500 to 1,000 a month. But you have to start somewhere. So been busy with that, jumping on calls with other people who just flake out at the end because they don't have the budget for SEO, which I guess it happens. But been busy with that, and then school is always fun, especially when you're an engineer.
Yeah, that's gnarly. I didn't know you.
So,
I think you told me you were doing engineering, but I forgot.
yeah, I'm doing electrical, and it's my second year at school, but technically third year ahead. But I'm starting to get those classes where you get a bunch of homework all the time. So a lot of nights where I'm up 3, 4 o'clock in the morning finishing stuff. Wake
Yeah.
up at 7, 8 o'clock, and get ready for the next. Pretty brutal, but I got to go through it.
Yeah. So for the audit, uh, you said you charge $100. Did you start doing that like recently?
No,
Because
no, I
it's
haven't
always
done the
recommended.
actual audit yet. Yeah, I know
Oh
you
yeah.
were telling me about that. So, I was still talking to clients. So, what I did for free is I did keyword research first and then a competitor analysis. So, I went through and made a nice presentation saying, okay, these are the sites that are ahead of you. Ran some SEMrush reports, found the keywords, sent that all over, and it said, okay, you can do an audit for $100. Figure out what's wrong. Let's see, the Omni Orlando Resort. Let's see,
How are
is
you?
that?
Can I ask how you're doing the keyword research? Because I just came up with a new method that I think is pretty interesting. You might want
Sure,
to.
I'll have to check it out. So essentially what I do first is I plug in all the different competitor sites to see
Right.
what they're ranking for. And based off of that, then I search, okay, these are the terms that they're ranking for. Find out other sites that are ranking for those terms and just keep searching in and getting a keyword list.
What do you use to export the keywords, or do you not export them?
I use SEMrush and I just export it to Excel.
Okay. Yeah. So what I've been doing actually a similar thing. So you saw the roadmap template I made, right?
Yeah,
Oh, what? By the way, what do you think about that?
it's really good. I'm glad you were able to give it away to everyone. I don't know why everyone was complaining originally.
Yeah.
I mean, he got viral over it, so
Yeah. Yeah, so in that, I created a keyword section portion. I'm actually just updating it now. Um, well, I actually just updated it today. And essentially, it's sort of the same thing that you're doing. I I started with a local client, so I don't really have a national example yet, but it's pretty much the same thing. So for the local example, what I did is I took like for instance, like a doctor, and I took all of the different doctors that were ranking for like naturopath in the city that I'm in. There's like 5 websites, right? And I exported them all through Ahrefs. And Ahrefs sorts when they
mm,
export the keywords. It sorts by the what is it? The amount of traffic that people are getting from those keywords. So, like for instance, this the keyword that they could be ranking for might have a really high search rate, but all of the keywords show up by how much just estimated traffic Ahrefs thinks these people are getting. So, what I do then is I take all 5 of these competitors' keywords and I export them and plug them into a spreadsheet, and they're side by side. There's like there's like 5 different competitors right next to each other, and the only thing that I'm looking at is keyword, the keyword search rate, and the URL that the keyword's ranking for. So what that does is then I can do like a Command F or a Control F, whatever, and I can see, like for instance, say the first keyword that they're ranking for, which is the highest traffic keyword they have, is naturopath. So then I just do a Control F, and then if I look, all of the other competitors are usually ranking within the first 4 or 5 spots for whatever the other person's ranking for. Like, so say for instance, the first one's ranking for naturopath Dr. Santa Barbara. Well, all 5 other of them are usually ranking also for that keyword, but that's also usually their most highly trafficked keyword. So then I know for the homepage, because all of the keywords are mapped to the URLs and all of them are home pages, then I know that that's the keyword that I need to rank for on the home page. And then the same thing with the other ones. Like say for instance, like I go down further on the first competitor and I see like, okay, this person's ranking also for like, we'll just say something random like uh, injections, like something like that. So then I just do a Command F or Control F, and I see what are they all the other competitors ranking for that keyword, and if they are, then I take that and then I just use that as another example of what I should make the next landing page as, because it's mapped to the same URL or to different URLs, right? And then I can just use those pages as examples for the content writer to write about. And at that point, it's really just about making a little bit more content, and then of course doing like better internal link silos and on page and stuff like that. But at a certain point, I'm just getting all these keywords that people are already ranking for, and then like seeing all the keywords that they're getting traffic for as well. And then I just map out all the keywords, and I have like an entire site ready to get built around content that I just have to like order content around and give them examples of what they need to write, what it needs to look like.
that's awesome. That works perfectly.
But the next step, dude, guess what the next step is? So after I do the audit and the keyword research, now all I have to do to sell that template to somebody is just replace anything that says Santa Barbara with like find and replace quote
With other
unquote
city, yep.
target keyword or target city, yeah. And then I just sell that as the doctor roadmap, and uh, and then what I can do as well is I can put analytics in there and show, like, after we created all these pages and like did this SEO from this roadmap and everything, this is how much traffic we got, and then we just make that the landing page, and boom, we can sell it as a template.
Nice. I've heard of a similar strategy with just giving away keywords to get potential clients before. That's a really smart way to easily capitalize on it.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, I'm still trying to figure out what the other sections are gonna look like on it. Like I was actually like had kind of hit a block today because like it's weird, man. Like every time I start like thinking about like making a new section, like there, I want it to be like really comprehensive, but at the same time, like there are certain things that it's like, okay, so for instance, everybody wants to sell like SEO packages. They all want to know like what's the best way to do your pricing. But like the problem is that like in some situations it doesn't make sense to sell somebody like, just a local package. Um and so like I think the best way to do it really is to like figure out what your roadmap's going to look like, and then start selling your services like based off uh like retainer type models where it doesn't have to be like, they're locked in, but like, giving them a fair warning, like, hey, look, this is something that takes a while, usually, and this isn't like going to generally be like something that you're going to rank for right away, but we're estimating like, hey, look, you'll probably rank within the first 3 6 months, depending on like what you're looking at, right? If it's like local, then you can say that. If it's like really competitive, then you're just say whatever. But then for the billing side, like what I'll say is I'll be like, hey, look, if you want to have us work on this like a bunch and just like really power this out, we'll give you priority if you want to buy like more hours at once. And then what that does is like it makes it a lot easier because then you're like agreeing to like the problem is like people say you shouldn't sell hours, but for me like it works really well because like I can do the roadmaps, do all the like difficult stuff in the roadmap, like the highest priority things, and then give like the alt tag stuff to like somebody else who's like not as experienced, and it's not really a big deal because we're still spending the same amount of time, like all combined, but it's like at the end of the day I'm not really doing like an insane amount of work for like hours versus like the package model, which is like never really a good idea in my opinion because like you can't really adjust those things enough. I don't know.
I've been trying with all the hours, and I feel like the clients like that a lot better rather than just saying these are the different prices for everything. Where I can say, okay, well, I have different packages between 5 and 15 hours and lay it out. Okay, this is what I can get done. I feel at least from what I've gone through the past 2 to 3 weeks, they like that a lot better because then they know, okay, for my price, I'm getting this. Rather, if you don't have anything detailed out, you're just having a flat price like, okay, I'll rank your website for $1,000 a month. They might question, say, okay, well, how many hours are you actually going to put in? Are you going to work on my site or not? They don't really know. Rather than you say, okay, for $1,000, I'll work 10 hours or 15 hours. You have that time set on the table.
Right. The other thing too is like, you know, I don't know. I mean, it really like depends on your like morals, but like say you agree to 15 hours, right? And they like say, because a lot of the time they just want to know your hours because they want to know that you're actually doing something. If they're getting an ROI, like they could care less about like how much money they're spending because they're making money off of it. Of course they want to be like you to be truthful with them, but like here's the other thing though. Like say for instance you spend 10 hours on a client site and you see like that next month when you do the report, there's like an 80% increase in ROI. Um, do you like is that unethical, right? And so that's like what it comes down to at a certain point is like sometimes like I'm able to like do what other SEOs can do like in like 5 hours or 10 hours, which would take like other people like 20 hours, just because like I've spent a lot more time like doing certain things. But then at the same time, like, is that morally right to like be like, agreeing to a certain amount of hours? And I think like a lot of it also comes down to like how happy the people are and how much they trust you. Because like for me, sometimes what I'll actually do is I'll spend like 10 hours when I've agreed to 15, and then I'll do like 15. I mean, I'll do like 20 the next month, right? Because there's like more stuff to do or something. Um, but it like really comes down to like I think in the end like what kind of results are you providing, because in the end I think what really matters is like are you doing like a really good job for these people, or are you like doing a really shitty job? And there's a lot of SEOs out there who will like agree to something and they'll do like the exact opposite and they won't provide any results, and they'll spend a bunch of time which are like and they're working on things that don't matter, but it's because they don't know any better because they don't have the type of experience, right? So
You just have to focus on the beginning what's more important. I mean, what I've been trying to do is say, okay, after a certain amount of hours and down the line when everything's optimized on site, you don't have to worry about that. Focus on blog posts and you can start getting links to the site, and then you can start ranking for other keywords, national keywords rather than just the local stuff.
right.
And hire a content writer, and then that can be your focus of your hours. So once you do everything on site, I mean, sure you have to work on site with the new blog posts and stuff like that, but you're not going to have to continually put those hours in month after month.
Well, yeah, that's the other argument too, right? It's like people are like, well, what do I do? Like, 10 months in, I spent a bunch of time, working on their site. Or some people, what they'll do is they'll do like 50 hours the first month so they can keep the client around, and then they won't do any work for the next 5 months. Um, but I mean, that's the thing though, is like there's a problem when you do it by hour, and there's a problem when you do it by packaging. Because if you do it by packaging, you're really limiting yourself. But if you do it by like hours, you're also sort of limiting yourself because you're tying down your results to an hour base, right? So
I think
like,
maybe the best route might be just having, say in the beginning, okay, first few months is hourly, and once everything's done and optimized, maybe just say, look, all right, now you're ranking. This is our retainer to continue to stay ranked. We're gonna be doing less work on the website. Most of the work was doing on-site issues. So instead of charging, let's say, someone $1,000 a month, you say, okay, it's just $500 for maintenance, and then you just watch
well,
over the rankings.
well, but that makes sense locally, right? Because locally, it's like, okay, I've ranked, say it's like a garden supply shop, and they're not really going anywhere, right? They're not like opening new locations. And say you're ranking them for like all the keywords you can possibly rank them for. I mean, after that, it's like maintenance, and even then, you could probably do some other stuff too, like try to get them a national reach and get them like recognized as like a nationally as a company as well, and like have a really killer review generation strategy, and just like kill it with content for them and stuff. I mean, that would be a way that you could keep that retainer. But overall, say they just want to rank for local, and then after that they're done. It's like it's just maintenance. That's fine. But there's a lot of clients out there who want to rank for like everything, right? They're like they want to be the best, and they're like national like. And then in that case though, it's like uh, it's kind of crazy because like they can have really unreasonable expectations, but at the same time, it's like you can also set really unreasonable expectations for these people if you're not careful.
It is true. That's why I just tell them, like, look, these are main keywords I want to go after. Your website, this is what your competition's ranking for. Once we hit these keywords, we can talk about what do you want to do next for the website. You
Right.
can't you can't go after everything. I mean, there's only so many hours you can put into the sites every month.
Well, I mean, but that's the other thing too is like scaling, right? Because like at a certain point, you want to build your own business, right? You want to be able to make your own products, and like in an ideal world, you'd be making all the money off of your own sites, right? You wouldn't be building other people's brands. But
Oh, exactly.
that's assuming you don't know how to scale correctly. Because if you don't know how to scale correctly, I mean, if you knew how to scale correctly, you would be able to streamline the process well enough where you're barely touching the site. You're like bringing people in, and then you're able to train a team and do what you need to do in order to get things done, right? That's what the smart people do. And there's this one guy I talked to recently who's actually making like millions. He's driving a Ferrari doing SEO,
Ooh,
and
nice.
he's talking about how he doesn't even make as much money as much money from his courses as he does from his agency, and he makes a lot off of his courses, like way more than I do, and uh, and that's because he's been able to really streamline the process where he takes a client in. He talks to the client originally, right? Or initially, brings it to whoever needs to sell the client, and then those people just end up working on the project. But that's what I'm talking about right now is like at a certain level, once you figure this stuff out, you're going to want to figure out like, do you want to do the hourly base or you do want to do the package base? Because at a certain point, you're going to want to scale if you really do want to do the agency model and make a shit ton of money that way. Um, but then it really comes down to like a certain I think it's a certain level of like ethics, because obviously you don't want like people wasting their time, but at the same time it's like if you're doing it and say you're the only one working on it and you know enough to like bring these people a really strong ROI, but you know that you wouldn't be able to sell them by saying, hey, look, I'm going to just work on this, you got to trust me, you have to like tie your uh, you know what you're doing down to an hourly based model to make these people feel better, then it gets a little tricky, right?
Very true. It's one of those things you have to focus more on the future. At least for me, I mean, in your situation, you're at that point where you have to start scaling. Unless are you focusing more now on your courses or clients?
um, it's a little bit of both. I mean, right now I have like 3 or 4 big clients, and they range between like 3 to 6,000 a month. But that's because they're I'm working on them like individually. I probably wouldn't be charging as much if it was like more of an agency type model. But the problem is that every time I start trying to build these agencies, I end up getting like a lot of uh, bad results. Hold on, let me just Google Hangout. Link is here. Link is here. A lot of bad results because the people that I'm hiring aren't really trained correctly, right? Because every time you stop working on something, you lose a certain amount of quality. It's just no matter what. That's just how it is because nobody's going to be able to go up to the standards that you have if you're like really good at something. There might be a few people, but those are the type of people that you usually have to pay a lot of money to keep around. But those are also the people that you need. You need a few of those people because if you don't have those people, then you're really going to be screwed. But anyways, that's the reason why I've created this roadmap, right? The initial reason I created the roadmap wasn't just because I wanted to create a roadmap. Like I've done that a bunch of times and I love helping people out. But for me, creating that roadmap makes it possible for me to be able to start like creating tutorials for every part of it. And at a certain point, I can literally just like bring people in, talk to them for an hour, have somebody else do the roadmap, have somebody else do the implementations, and then have somebody else do the, reports, all that kind of stuff. And I don't even have to touch it at a certain point, right? But in order to get to that level, I have to have a certain level of trust for people, and then I also have to have a certain level of trust for myself to be able to sell to clients like that. Because like I can't just like tell clients, hey, yeah, this is gonna work really well for you. I got some people that may or may not work out. Like you really have to be able to streamline the process, but it does get really complicated because, like I said earlier, like when I was doing this stuff, I was selling to clients when I had like 20 clients and I was selling to them saying, yeah, we're going to fix all your stuff. But then like there was a lot of quality problems because the people I was hiring, they didn't know how to like work with each other and it just became hell.
That's one of the issues. I mean, I remember watching Ray Kroc's movie. Was it The Founder or something like that? Talking about how he's setting up all the different franchises, and he had his own set of qualities at his business. He wanted everything to be completely clean, wanted everything to be out fast, only certain menu items. Goes up to all the other franchisees that his friends bought into, and they were just completely awful, completely different set of standards. It's one of the hardest things when growing McDonald's, just to make sure all the different franchises were up to that quality standpoint. I mean, nowadays you can obviously tell that failed. McDonald's isn't what it used to be, but that's definitely the hardest part.
Yeah.
And I feel it's better just to hire someone more quality, at least in the beginning, and get those few people on your team. Sure, you might not make as much money, but with SEO, the referrals are so important. I mean, you don't have to rank for everything, and you start getting clients in just from ranking other people's websites. And for the long run, at least, I'd rather make less money on one or two clients and get a referral for the future for another client, because who knows how many referrals you get from that client, and it just keeps on adding up as the snowball effect.
But that's the cool thing, man, about the roadmap is literally once I train one person in it, like that one reliable person you're talking about, all I have to do is have them cross-check other people's work, and I could literally give that roadmap to anybody because of how like straightforward I'm making it. Like it's super easy once you see like how all of the sections are going to be laid out with tutorials and every single thing. People could like theoretically learn that within like a week, and be able we could push out 20 to 30 audits per month with like implementations for each of those. How many people are in here?
So I don't know. I just heard another person. Let's see.
I feel like there's a bunch of people. I'm not at my computer, so let me see.
There is
Oh
one,
shoot, there's
two,
Alex.
three, four. Yeah, there's quite a few.
We're all in the cut.
Why aren't you guys talking?
Well, yeah, I just got home, so I'm kind of doing stuff.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, I started though because I'm trying to build landing pages for AdWords and stuff. So I'm definitely like in my last proposal, I'm putting stipulations on. Like if you want me to build, I put a set price on my landing pages, you know, on top of SEO, on top of AdWords, on top of the website.
What do you charge,
Yeah.
Alex?
Right now, I'm not charging like that much because I'm just trying to get like I'm paying my dues right now. Like I have two Upwork clients, and then I have another client, and like honestly, I'm just like I'm just pretty good like now. I mean, I just got into the industry, so I'm getting like 20 an hour roughly. Like which is pretty good for me. I mean, I just started in the industry, so I can't ask for anything more.
What does your
Um,
selling process look like? You like how do you get your clients?
part of it is people I know, through I started my first client as a friend of mine, and I pretty much I honestly what I did is I made a website, personal website where I it was just a resume pretty much online. And then I posted it on my Facebook stream, and one of my friends was like, "Oh yeah, um, yeah, I got some work for you." And it turns out he had three websites and two more coming up. So, um, and then I just started on Upwork, and one person I got in, my very first job in Upwork. I'm getting paid 15 an hour, but that's from home. That's just to gain Upwork experience. And then I just landed another one where I'm getting 26. So like, it's like slowly building up, but at the same time, I don't want to overload myself because I want to make sure I'm bringing in good results before I start bringing on more clients and this and that. I mean, I'm tracking my results and I'm doing pretty good, but I want to really optimize everything and make sure like I got all my I's dotted, T's crossed, and so forth.
Oh, nice. So like what are you doing for these people? Like are you just doing like on page or like I'm just curious.
I'm doing a little bit of everything. Um, my I started with AdWords in 2010. I was a sales estimator or an estimator for a tree service, and I needed leads, so that's where I started getting leads from. But I wasn't really that good at it until 2017. Um, and then so I pretty much focus on on page and a little web design, WordPress of course, and what else? Because at first I was going to get into web development, but then I decided not to because I already had marketing experience. Let me get into marketing because web development's really hard to get into as a newbie, harder than SEO, I feel.
Wait, and you said that you started with like a tree service?
Yeah, that was my prior profession.
Oh, but not like was it AdWords for a tree service or like that's how you like you started as like a profession for like tree services?
Yeah, I was a salesman, so I needed leads in 2010. So then I looked into AdWords and I started campaigns. I ran like two or three campaigns um, from 2010 to 2016. So it wasn't like I was completely green, but I had a little bit of experience.
How did that do?
Yeah, I got, I feel like a blind squirrel gets a nut sometimes, like, I mean, I feel I got leads in, but at the same time, I wasn't optimizing my CTRs, I wasn't, rewriting content so I can get better quality scores, that type of thing that I'm doing now. Um,
You know, it'd be a good idea if we had like a place where we could take like all of the different people who come to the Facebook group and the YouTube channel and stuff, and we like told them about this site that we made where it's kind of like Upwork, but not really. It's like ran by other SEOs. So it's like a community where it's like, yeah, this SEO specializes in this niche. This SEO specializes in this niche. And then like you could actually end up like helping each other as well. on like different parts, right? Because like say you got a client that's like in the tree service niche, and you know local SEO really well, but then you need to hire like Alex to do like the AdWords portion because you know he knows like about all that stuff in the keywords. That'd be pretty cool because that's the biggest
Yeah,
thing
even
for
a
me.
place where we could post jobs, you know what I mean? Because occasionally I have some writing stuff that, you know, I'm throwing at Fiverr and stuff and other people. I mean,
The hardest
um,
part for me though, dude, is like,
Be quality, right? Checking
huh?
out if people. I was gonna
yeah,
say hardest part would probably be quality. I think if someone actually knows their stuff, what they're selling or advertising, because I
Yeah.
mean, like the problem with like sites with like Conquer or Fiverr and stuff, you have so many different people in there that just don't know their stuff and try to sell it like they do.
Well, yeah, that, and it's like, especially when you're like hiring a client, or sorry, hiring a client. When you're like selling to a client, you're not going to just say, hey, yeah, no, I don't do tree service, right? You're going to still try to help them, but how much easier would it be to just go to the SEO that's known for tree service and have them pump out their list of keywords for you? That's why I want to templatize everything, because then I can sell the templates not only for people, but for myself, because in the future, then I know, hey, look, if I get another tree service client, boom, I have all of the ideal comparison pages. Because here's the thing, look, if you have like rankings for something, like say it's like computer repair, which I have, I spent like 2 years trying to rank for this one keyword and I finally got it. I have the perfect comparison site and all the data you'll need on how to rank for computer repair in pretty much any area because I spent so much time like, learning the ins and outs of it and learning like what those keywords look like. Because a lot of the time, those keywords and the way the site architecture is going to be and the layout and everything is going to be like exactly the same as another area. But if you know like who the most competitive person is in like any area, because like that's how most people, well, at least I do my keyword research when I'm doing local. I try to find the most competitive area possible, and then I try to mimic those people. So I'm not trying to beat the people in my area. I'm trying to beat the people in the most competitive area. Because if I can try to get close to beating those people, I end up like getting a lot further than just ranking. If you get what I'm saying.
For sure. Because once you beat those people, then you're perfectly fine beating anyone else.
Yeah. That'd be a good idea. That might be like a better project. The reason why I haven't been able to do Siphon King or do like a meeting or post about it is because I got banned. I haven't been able to post in the groups.
You should just had made a second Facebook account and been like Chase Renner V2, something
I
like that.
tried to,
Or
but it banned that one too.
wait, it did?
Yeah, because
Man.
if you don't have like enough pictures of yourself uploaded, they basically make you take more, and then they like just put it on the back burner for like a week.
Oh man, that sucks.
Yeah,
I was gonna say maybe they traced the IP and figured that out.
they could have done that too, but I think just Facebook has a really good algorithm for like detecting fake accounts.
Man, that's weird. I had one or two fake accounts for like affiliate sites that I built a while back, and still have them now. Haven't done anything about it. No
Yeah, if you
profile
try to
picture or
log
anything.
if you try to log into those though and start posting, they'll like get like they'll have like security checks like really fast.
Uh,
But yeah, the Siphon King site's really annoying, or the project, because it's like I feel like every time we meet, we come up with a plan and then nobody takes initiative. Like I need people, like that's why I had like people leading certain teams, because like I need people to like take initiative on it, and it's like we have like 130 people, and like we've had the group for like a month, and we haven't done not even a single person is logged into the site.
well, I mean, I did keyword research for one of the games. I never finished it, but I found like 150 different keywords for it.
Oh, nice.
But I didn't know where to put it or anything like that. I mean, that was my goal to do that, and another goal was to do site speed. But I'm not sure I have all the access to all the plugins. I know you said you only want to give it to a few people.
Yeah,
You said it was also perfectly fine, I think, or someone said the site speed was fine at the moment. So I was just focusing on keyword research.
yeah. I think the problem is a lot of people want to work on this stuff, and they agree to help, but I think like a majority of them don't actually have time.
I think it's better just to have like a small group of people that you know that are dedicated rather than just have a large amount. I know it would have been a better project having, 100 plus people working on a site, but just the odds of having 100 plus people that are actually going to dedicate time into something really difficult to have nowadays. especially with all the distractions that are around.
Oh shoot, somebody just called me, sorry. I didn't hear that last part.
Oh no, I was saying I think it's better off just to have like a small group of people rather than have a large group. While it would have been better if everyone, like all the 100 people, were going to focus on the project and stuff like that. I feel it's better just having like a smaller group of people that may put more time into the site each week that that are accountable, that you've talked to and stuff like that. Or okay, he's actually going to do the task and set everything up like that.
Right.
It would have been great if we could have had 100 people working on it, but there's so many distractions around nowadays where people will say, "Oh, I'll push this off to another day," and just never finish it.
Yeah.
But if you have like that group of, let's say maybe 10 people, and everyone talks daily, okay, this is what I worked on today. This is what I want to get done. Let's say, okay, your goal is keyword research for this video game. Let's say someone wants to do, God, what's one, Fortnite or something like that. All right, your goal is to find all the different keywords for Fortnite. Go finish the keyword research by Friday. Find 5 or 10 sites that are ranking high for all the different keywords, and we'll discuss this in the call. And then just set up one day a week where everyone ends up calling and talks about, okay, this is the work I did this week. And just bring it up like each task. Okay, all right, you had this keyword research. What are the top keywords? Great, perfect. Go to the writers. All right, we're able to write these articles. All right, wrote these articles, published them here. Okay, on-site SEOs. Did you finish this? Perfect. Off-site. And just set it up systematically where each person is in charge of certain tasks, and they just are called on at the meeting each week. Maybe have the call maybe more than an hour, or just set up sub teams where one person's in charge and goes over everything.
But here's the problem, man. Oh, sorry.
I feel like we should move the days it'd be cool if you could do it during the week or whatever, but most of us have the weekend somewhat free. And it'll be, and plus I know another issue is that we have time issues where one person, is in one time zone. Maybe we should have 2 meetings, one for one time, one for another one. Spearheaded by not you, Chase, but like someone else, and then just I guess gather the notes from that meeting or whatever that needs to be done, if it needs jobs that need to be delegated or whatever, and then that's just my thought right there.
That's what I was thinking. If you have this, oh, go ahead, Jason. Sorry.
I was gonna say one of the problems is like what I've seen like over and over again, and this is coming from me like who's like tried to like make this agency model work like over and over, which is kind of like what this is. This is like an unpaid agency model, like just to like, but like it's more like a group teamwork thing. But in the same way, we're still delegating tasks. We're still trying to figure out who's doing what. And the problem is that I think a lot of people they spend or they say that they are able to do things. Like for instance, I'll say like, "Hey, I need you to do keyword research," because I feel like I've been pretty straightforward with people on the Hangouts. But like then they'll be like, "Yeah, I got that," and then I think sometimes people aren't like they'll just like agree to things because they like want to like seem like they can do it and then like go figure it out or something. But then like they won't actually go and do it because they don't feel like confident or whatever it is.
That's why I think the smaller team would work better. I know 100, like I said, having the larger group of people have been best, but I don't think everyone's going to be very active. You set the small group amount of people, let's say 10 or 15 people, you interview them. Okay, you're definitely going to be doing this. Just hold them accountable each week. All right, you need to finish this by Friday. Submit it by then. And if you miss your deadlines, then you're off the project. Simple as that.
Yeah, I'm just like really bad at managing people. Like I don't know what it is.
I'm actually really good at it.
Really?
Yeah, I've managed like 40 people before.
I need somebody to like be like, hey, I'm gonna like take this leadership role, and I'm gonna because like I'm really good at overviewing and like like finding the errors like where there's quality problems and stuff, and like innovate. But when it comes to managing people and like trying to delegate tasks, I'm so bad at it because I feel like people like don't tell me like what they're actually feeling, and I'm not able to like figure out what they are actually feeling.
Yeah, like it takes experience, like managing. Like I've managed tree work, and You know, like you know, it takes like the first time to get it takes a time. It takes getting burned once to really like put you in, like, you know, like one time I had a guy steal a chainsaw, and I liked the guy, you know, but I had to fire him. And
Yeah.
you know, it was just like, but after the first one, then it was no problem. You know, it's a business. You know, if I have to fire a person, I have to fire them. You know, it's results. You know, it's not my, you know, it's not my say. You know, but you know,
Right.
but yeah, if you need me to, you know, what I mean, like, do that, I don't have any problems with it. Just we just have to talk like off of this between me and you, and set up what exactly you want me to do real quick. You know, like a 10-minute call or something.
Yeah. I, I ideally I'd like to have like one or two people. That's kind of what the project managers I wanted to be. I don't, maybe that's the wrong term, but like I want like one or two people to be able to like handle the other people and like have like, because I want to be able to come up with like the plans and stuff and like create like an outline and be able to like monitor like the like quality of what's going on and be able to like add to that. But the problem is like I don't even have that much time. And the reason why I wanted to do the group project, like one of the reasons was because I wanted to be able to hire a few people out of there that are able to like work really well, like doing different things. I mean, I of course didn't tell everybody that because I don't want like, you know, people to think that that's the reason why I'm doing it. And then they're just like working for that. But like, it's really difficult when you have like 130 people. And then I had even more people messaging me saying like, yeah, they'll help. But then like, I can't like manage all these people or like respond to all of them. Like I can funnel a bunch of people in that we need, but I can't like talk to all of them.
Yeah, it's impossible.
Yeah.
I mean, you got your clients, you got, you know, your classes you're trying to develop, and then you got the, you know, the answer people. You know, I mean, that's like it's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, so like that's the biggest thing I've been thinking about when it's coming to that project because I've almost wanted to let it go and just wait until I develop this roadmap so that I can just like hire people to make the site. But I thought it'd be cooler to see like, you know, like a group of people like just like put their powers together and like, you know, make something work like where it doesn't necessarily have to be like paid. We can do it for like fun and learn together. But like I feel like part of me feels like it, you know, people have to get paid in order to have enough initiative to do things.
Yeah,
Maybe,
I mean, in the
yeah.
future, you know, I mean, you could set up. You know, this isn't the only website we have to be tied to. You know, I mean, we could set up other sites. You know, once this one is, you know, I mean, pretty set up. You know,
Well, that was the
like,
plan.
yeah, that's a plan in a perfect world.
Yeah. I guess I'm just like I'm tired of like always taking like the initiative when it comes to like these group projects. Like I would like to see like more strong like mindset. Like that's the one thing I really wanted to see was like people that are gonna come into there and be like, yeah, like let's do this. Like I'm gonna like just like charge it with this stuff. But I think a lot of people like when it comes to SEO are like really apprehensive, dude.
I think one of the issues is like most of us like on here are students, you know, and like, you know, like, I don't know. I mean, there's a certain amount too that are professionals, but you know, maybe a confidence issue or something. Maybe some people don't want to look stupid in front of other people. You know, like that might be an issue, but I mean, that's ridiculous because, you know, like, you know, to learn, you have to. That's how you learn. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's just unfortunate. But, I mean, people learn and stuff over time that you need to take action. That's the number one thing about anything. You're going to fail no matter what you do. And learn from your mistakes. I mean, it's not the end of the world if you mess up. Just get back up and just keep trying. I mean, eventually it'll work out.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like if I were new and this opportunity were presented to me, I would take it up in a heartbeat. I mean, learning from other people who are in the business, you know, like I've had to pay for that type of stuff, you know.
Yeah.
And I mean, everybody does to a certain degree, but you know, I've paid $50 an hour to people, you know, to go over my stuff and like, you know, make sure, you know, this like before I tried to learn programming, you know, I paid that for private lessons, you know, and stuff. But yeah, Chase, I feel like you should possibly like do, or we should do a mandatory meeting this weekend, like two mandatory meetings in two different time zones.
Yeah,
Like,
we could do that.
and like whoever doesn't show up to that meeting, wherever it is not part of it.
Well, the
Yeah.
only thing I'd say to that is sometimes people do travel and stuff. So, like, what you could possibly do is set up like some type of forum if you missed the meeting. Why with like a valid excuse? Like, I'm gonna try to make it to the meeting, but I know during the weekends I have like my engineering clubs, and that's like 5 or 6 hours sometimes on the weekend where I have to work on like building robots and such, and I can't miss those at all for school.
That's fine, but another thing we should make mandatory is like, you know, if you're not in the Slack server, then you're not in the project.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Kind of wish we used Discord though instead of Slack. My personal opinion. I mean, it's easier, but
I'm down with Discord. I don't know. I don't understand how people can be like internet marketers and not figure out how to use Discord.
yeah, just make a new channel on there or something like that, or a new chat just for it. I think it'd be much easier just because it's a desktop application. Oh no, is Slack a desktop application also? I mean, this is the first time
Yeah.
I'd be using Slack. Is it so you can download something like Discord? You just open up on there.
If you want to work at Upwork, I mean, on Upwork, you probably have to use Slack every now and again.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, I hate Slack.
Yeah, let's move it to Discord then. Be much better. Make a new channel or something. And you can just host the calls right on Discord too, I believe, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can have all the separate channels and stuff set up too. Each team, okay, these are the people doing on-site, these off-site.
I'll go ahead and
The other
build
thing
this if you want, and I'll send you
I
all
think
invites.
also, okay, sounds good. I think would be good too is having like a set time for meetings rather than changing every week. I know like the first week was Monday or something like that. Another week was like on a Saturday or so. But just having like a set time where people can set aside, okay, I know every week at let's say 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, I have a meeting to work on this project and set aside time.
Well, here's the thing that's easy for
What do you
me,
think?
guys, is like I can make these videos like really easy and like push out the notifications because everybody listens to me for the most part, like when it comes to like me asking for stuff. Um, but like I don't have time to like get on all these group calls all the time and like do all this stuff. But like I can make a video, be like, hey guys, this week this is what I observed. Like this is what we got to do. Like yeah, like 30-minute video, and then everybody can see it. And then like I could maybe jump on one of them per week or something. But like it would be really cool if you guys were like, hey Chase, like we got to do this, like push out like a notification like to everybody about that, or like whatever. And then just like
I have no problem with that.
because then it would make my job like really easy, because then I could just be like, I could still lead the team and stuff and like be able to come up with all the ideas and push out notifications, make videos and do all that stuff. But then like I don't have to be like tied down all the time to like trying to like figure out how to direct all this stuff. Like if we had one person who was like in charge of like the meetings and whatnot, and then like one person who's in charge of like the OnPage SEO or whatever, that way like we know like, okay, if we need more OnPage SEOs, the OnPage SEO guy is just going to be like, yeah, we need more SEOs, and then Chase make like a notification, then we'll get like 50 more people applying in like one day.
I think what would be good too is just maybe like a video, say once a week. All right, here's the weekly recap of everything that went on with the site. We had this person do this for the keyword research. This is what he found. We had this person do the on-site. This is what he did. We had this person do off-site. This is what he did, and just go over that once a week and just end it with something like, okay, next week if you're interested, we're having another call, this time on our Discord server.
Right, but
that
I mean
way,
like if I could have like one of you guys make that, just like go on OBS, press screen record, and then give me the video, I'll literally upload that on my channel. and then
Okay,
push it out.
We can figure stuff out like that. I think the main thing right now is figuring out exactly who is going to be interested in the project or going to actually put hours in and who won't. I think would be good is possibly do like an intro assignment for each person, kind of like what people do on Upwork when hiring a VA. Something really simple and basic, and see how long it takes someone to do it if they do it at all. If they never finish the intro assignment, something that takes maybe an hour or so, then they're not part of the project.
Yeah,
that way you can weed out people really quick.
Yeah, that would be fun if we just did like a fake like little. Well, I mean, it doesn't have to be fake, but like just like something that we don't even really need, but just like give it to them to see how long.
Yeah, or even something like this, like, all right, these are the video games you have listed right now. Can you name any other video games that are upcoming or stuff like that? Or can you find us 25 keywords that you think would be good to write articles on? And that way you can have someone do that. I mean, that's if they're on site or supposed to find keywords. But use that for example.
Well, I think we also have to get more specific too. Like if we assign people to certain lists, we should give them task lists each week. Like for instance, we send them like an email with like 6 check boxes. Like number 1, get the keyword research done. And then like if they don't send it back to us by next week, it's like, all right, well, this person doesn't want to be working on this project with us.
Yeah, that'll work best. Just set up the intro things. And that's what I had to do when I hired my first VA. I had to go through and find out, okay, are these people actually going to do their work or not? And you're not going to pay someone right away, let's say for 30, 40 hours. You give them some small assignment. I mean, there's stuff I had to get done anyways, but send it over. All right, can you do this? And find out if they're actually going to do the job or not. That way we can say, okay, this person, well, you're not doing the job. Sorry, man. We really need people that are active. I mean, if they have a valid excuse, which I mean, most of the time they won't, but you do have people of occasion that have something come up. Give them another chance. They'll fail again, you gotta cut them. But I mean, you just have to set it up and set those standards right away.
Well,
right, if you're not going to work on it.
It's like a job, you know what I mean? Like you can't just call out sick all the time or like, but if you give someone ample time, you know what I mean? Like, hey, bud, something came up. I'm not going to be there Saturday or, then that's cool. But, we can't have, like you said, we really need to filter out the people that are serious about it. And I have a feeling it's going to be the usual characters, that we all talk to.
Right.
I think everyone that's active in the Discord would work on the project. I mean, I'm sure there's some people outside the Discord that'll work on it, but I have a feeling it's the more active people that'll actually get the stuff done.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then I can start funneling everybody to the Discord channel. We can create up a new list. It would also be cool because like what I do is I get on these calls like this and I do like, like I say, hey guys, let's do this. But like right now I'm cleaning my room because I haven't been able to do it in like forever because I'm just like so stacked and I'm like, hey, let's talk about whatever. And I knew that we'd probably talk about the project too. But it'd be cool if like maybe we had somebody who could like start like creating like a schedule where we have this stuff going and like you can notify me because like I need people to call me. Like I'm so saturated with messages and stuff. Like I look at my calendar, but I even miss calendar events sometimes. And that's like with clients that are paying me like, a good amount of money. So like it would be cool if like I had somebody that like, could help me schedule this stuff and then be like, oh yeah, Chase, like they call me and like, we need to get on this call right now. And then I can just like, drop what I'm doing and like get on a call and like just get on this Google Hangout. Cause like right now I'm just on my phone on my headphones. I'm just walking around my room cleaning it.
But that works.
Yeah, I'm on my phone too.
I mean, I'm kind of writing an essay right now, but it's the multitasking that works best.
So yeah, Chase, I mean, I'm like 100% in, you know what I mean? So I'll create the server on Discord and then I'll send you an invite.
Okay, cool. And maybe we just have it where it's like, okay, maybe Alex can't join at this time or Ryan can't join at this time, but like maybe we have like somebody like where like we can rewatch the videos or something and then like somebody can take notes and like we can like make sure that we're like putting this somewhere so that we have it like say for instance we know that we have to do like keyword research or something like because I'm sure there's things that we've brought up at this point like nobody's doing the keyword research, so that means we need to notify the current people that are on this project, but it's like we're gonna forget a lot of this stuff. So I think
So I
we
think
should.
it'd be best with the Discord. Then you can at people and they get the notification. You can say like, say for example, at Ryan, hey, did you finish the keyword research for Fortnite yet?
Well, I
You need to
think we
finish
should
it
do a
by that.
cross. I think we should do the a Discord channel, but also have a shared Google Doc where we have everybody in there, but then everybody has their own tab, and we make it so that only the project managers or whoever's managing people can edit their tabs. I think you can lock it for specific people, so everybody has their own password, but you can still see what other people are doing.
I didn't know that.
I'm
Can
pretty
you do
sure.
that? Yeah, I saw on
mean,
one of the spreadsheets there's a lock, and I think the only way you can unlock it is if you have that password. So if everybody had their own, like, say for instance, we had like Ryan in one tab, Alex in another tab, and then we just like had assignments for each of those people each week, like we did in the group call, and everybody like assigned their own thing, like keyword research, Fortnite, whatever. And then next week when we get on the call, we look at them and we see like, okay, did this person? And that way also, people are publicly committing to things. Because if you just have people like say, oh yeah, I'll do it, and then like, you know, they don't show up at the next thing or something. But if we like do a live hangout and then we look at their sheet and they don't do it, those people are gonna like not gonna want to live that up, you know?
true. So, yeah, for sure. We should get to go. I guess we're on live right now, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to ask a question. Do you have people who have someone back there who builds backlinks to your websites? Discord channel link, please. All right.
Wait, what? Wait, what?
Someone just asked a question in there. And here it said, you have someone back there who builds backlinks for your websites and then Discord channel link.
Oh, I mean, I don't do off page really, but maybe one of these guys does.
I mean, I just built citations for locally so far. I haven't really built a strategy plan upon getting white hat links. I mean, I'm going to when I implement the blogs, these clients, but that's farther down the road.
I'll get him the Discord link. If you guys want to join this hangout, we're almost done. I got to leave in like, what is it? 15 minutes. But if you guys want to join the last 15 minutes, here's the hangout.
Oh, it's going to get hacked now.
Oh, yeah, like that one. Were you there that one time?
Yeah. They were like on the chat, like, yeah, high-fiving each other.
Yeah, they kicked everybody out, and then they like started playing porn. But the thing
was
just like,
no.
yeah,
that can get your YouTube channel banned.
I know that's what they were trying to do, I think. But that's the thing is like, the stream ended somehow because they like hacked it, and like I don't know what happened, but you couldn't end up seeing it because I went to look at the replay and you couldn't see it. But yeah, I was like so pissed. I was like, God, because it was like a 4-hour long stream, and I was like, I thought I was gonna have to delete the whole thing.
So yeah, for sure. I mean, it's I haven't done much backlinking myself. I've only messed around with local, but you know, one of my clients is national, but I'm just doing simple stuff for him. I'm gonna start getting into a little bit more technical stuff, but yeah, I just do local citations, and it's like pretty good.
Have you guys?
Oh, sorry. Well, I was gonna say is, I mean, I did some backlink building for my affiliate sites, but they were mostly PBN based, and I know it's not the best thing to have with local or even like national when you're working for companies, but with affiliate it was perfectly fine.
Have you guys seen the affiliate series I have on YouTube?
I might have saw 1 or 2 videos. I didn't finish going through them all.
Yeah, so the affiliate series is like me going through like taking these people from like 3 organic traffic a day to like they're at like 800 right now a day, and literally zero, like over the last 6 months, like zero link building.
Really?
Yeah.
I have to watch that then.
Well, I mean, it's like stuff you already know, man. It's just like I think really it's just coming down to like links are not really
as
as
important
valuable
anymore.
these days as like, you know, creating like really good, like a really good
I think
brand
the
around what you're talking
content
about.
itself is, if it's like an authority, like I have a client who's in some, I won't say it, the type of software, but it's some type of software. And and they're like they're client, they're consultants, and they're already ranking on the first page, but you know they're just behind certain directory sites and certain like like huge like Oracle, stuff like that. But I noticed, they had like 3,000 blog posts from like 2000 from 2008 or 2007, you know, and um and just looking at their backlinks and stuff like that, it's just like if it's a good content and you share it, pretty well, it's gonna eventually get backlinks because it's gonna get covered by other people if it's something, worth something,
Yeah, but you don't always need backlinks to like increase page rank. So like here's the cool thing is like you can have page rank pass throughout your site, which people are saying, yeah, page rank doesn't exist, but it does. It's just got removed from like Google's toolbar. But you can have page rank pass throughout your site from internal links, but um, that's like one method. The other method too is like topical clusters where you're like creating, you know, a brand around a certain subject, around a certain niche. And so what ends up happening is like, yeah, maybe you're not ranking above Oracle for like a certain really competitive keyword, but you might be ranking for like other semantic variations, which end up adding up because the really big competitors are not trying to rank for the stuff you're trying to rank for when you first start out. And the same thing goes vice versa. When you start getting really good, say you start bringing a lot of traffic, you're not trying to focus on the small keywords anymore. You're not trying to focus on the long tail stuff. And so there's always a point where you can get more competitive with what you're targeting, but there's always also going to be like an insane amount of low-hanging fruit, like all over the place. But what it comes down to is like creating like stuff that's better than what other people have. And of course, links help, but links are always going to be a liability because you don't control them.
Unless you build your own PBN sites, which that's
That's an
quite
even
the
bigger
ton.
liability.
It is because you have to make sure they look legit enough, and then obviously keep up with all the maintenance on those.
Yeah, I mean, anytime, even in the real world, anytime you're focusing on liabilities over assets, and it doesn't even matter how small, even if it's a really small liability. Say it's like that PBN's being like really well maintained, and it's basically a website, or you're really good at link building, you're getting all these links and stuff. Like at the end of the day, though, like you're not really helping people, right? And you're not really like building anything that's like actually like of value through links. You're just like getting things pointed to your website and you're like, hey, yeah, I have links.
there have been people like I was on another chat, and like I've heard of people like it back. Well, this is a while ago. Like let's say like one person got on the first page when Viagra was selling hot. You know,
Oof.
like he got on the first page and he said he worked for like 10. He was on there for 10 months and he made like $1 million or something.
Right.
Really?
And it
Jeez.
wasn't even his product. Like I think it was like an affiliate or something.
Right.
And I mean, he did it black hat way, I mean, and but understanding that is just like a one and done type deal.
Yeah,
Like
I mean,
it's gonna,
and that's why I tell people, I'm like, if you're gonna be black hat, like be like really good at black hat, But if you're not gonna be really good at black hat, and like you really want to create something of long term value, you generally want to create assets because what ends up happening is people are not really good at black hat. They're just like somewhat good at black hat, or maybe they're not even that good. And they end up with all these liabilities, right? Like content that's not that great because they don't understand how to like optimize really well for users. They don't really understand search intent. Um, or maybe they do, but they're spending all their time working on PBNs because you can only do so many things, right? SEO isn't like insanely complex at the end of the day. Like there's people who are able to rank for things without even knowing SEO. And it's just because they're like good at creating content or they figured out how to like really give people what they want. or maybe it doesn't even matter to SEO at a certain point. Maybe they just have like a really large following just because they went viral or something. But at the end of the day, like a lot of those people who end up creating those really, really strong rankings or something, or brands without really even knowing SEO. And that's the thing, is like they don't know SEO, but they actually do, because they understand like more valuable things, which are like, how do I create something that people really want? Or how do I create things that are going to be leverageable versus like links that are just like, even though like people are like, oh, well, they help you rank. It's like, yeah, so did a lot of other stuff back in the day, but Google just like switched off. And generally the reason why Google uses links is because they don't know how else to be able to rank things right now. I mean, they do to a certain degree, but and that's why they're turning them down. But like, if you think about it, when somebody goes to a website, do you think that they wonder, like when they're reading a post, I wonder how many links this page has?
No, of course
Only
not.
us.
Yeah, only us.
So you mean to say that content matters more than
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. For anything like, any type of real business, brick and mortar, or something you want to, long term, absolutely, it's, not the way to go.
I mean, it just really comes down to also like what's working.
Well,
And,
that's the thing I was about to say is like, I mean, well, it's only one side of the coin to bring the people there. I mean, it's like the other side of the coin is like, what do you do with the people that are there? How do you like convert them? That's like, like, that's that's what I spend my time thinking about.
Right. Well, and that's the thing too, is like my biggest concern is not people who do black hat or link building or any of that stuff. Like, I have nothing against those people because they're doing what works. And, I don't think it's unethical to do that. I mean, maybe sometimes the way they're doing it might be unethical, but overall, I have nothing against them. What I have against people is how close-minded you can get to like other important aspects of things, because you only focus on like here. That's the problem. Is, say you get really good at link building. Think of all that time you could have got really good at like marketing, or how you could have got like really good at understanding how to optimize for users, or you could have created like really, really strong assets for yourself or for other people that like may or may not be a liability, a year from now or a month from now or something. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter who's right or who's wrong. It just matters who's ranking, right? But it also matters who's like able to create long-term value and actually be able to help people, rather than just like try to make money because they're trying to, build links to a site so that they can game the system in a certain sense. Because like, it's not gaming the system because it's working, but to a certain degree, everybody feels a little bit shady when they're building links, in my opinion. Mainly because even Google says, hey, look, that's against our guidelines. Like, hey, look, you shouldn't be building links. You shouldn't be outreaching to people. But
I haven't one link yet.
Huh?
Honestly, all I've been doing is just blogs, just like OnPage, and just like AdWords.
Well, yeah, I mean, I
And
was able to rank for white hat SEO without any links.
What was all the reviews probably too, right? Is that what you're using the reviews for?
What?
Part of the review process too, wasn't it?
What do you mean?
Google My Business, or is that something else?
No, I ranked a sub page on my site. I mean, I use internal
Oh,
links,
it's a
which are of
sub-page?
course links, but yeah.
I mean, those are all fair game.
So wait, say it again.
No, I was saying internal links are
Oh.
all fair game. Like Google encourages that.
Well, yeah, but that's the other thing too, is like I'm getting a link to my homepage from another site, and then I'm internally linking that to that page, and it's like, okay, so that's technically a link, right? But the whole point though is like I control that link on my homepage. And I know that I'm providing value to people, because like when people click on that homepage button that goes to that article, it's there for a reason. It's not just because I'm trying to rank it. Like, it is partly that, but it's also because I'm like, hey, look, I want to show you guys this awesome resource I made. And like, people love that. And I'm getting like a lot of people going to my Facebook group. I'm building authority. People know that I know what I'm talking about, versus the opposite. Say I didn't build that article and I just build links to my site and people see like Chase Reiner SEO expert. Like, I'm ranking #1 for that. Like, that's cool. But it really depends on your goals and your value. Like, you can be the guy who's recognized as like the egocentric guy who's just trying to like, make everybody like him because he's like, following the crowd and being like, what everybody says you should do. Or you can be the guy who's like, hey, look, I know what's creating value, not only for myself, but for other people. And I know it's going to be a long-term solution that if I continue getting really good at this and understand this side of things, which is never going to die no matter what, because people say that links are never going to die no matter what, but they're dying. And let's just face that, like, they are. They used to be like the main factor, and it's not that anymore. Like, you can literally rank without links now. And people like argue that, but that's fine. I mean, I'm ranking for white hat SEO without it, like, in a sense, right? But also, like, I don't have to worry whether or not my site's going to get penalized or whether or not, the next day Google's going to devalue links or any of that stuff. I know that my content's awesome. I know that like the brand I'm making is awesome. And I know that the marketing I'm doing is awesome. And I know that I'm going to continue getting even better and better at that, because that's what I'm focusing on, is creating value versus creating liabilities. But
That's it, man. I mean, for me, it's like, at first I was a salesman. So like, it's all about trying to sell your product or your service the best you can, like I said before, I've been really focusing on, like my e-commerce, the couple of e-commerce stores I handle, like really thinking about, the placement of my products, what's really, what's the first thing they look at, like what are they doing on Hotjar, those type of things, opposed to just thinking about, oh, my ranking for this and my ranking for that. Like,
right.
I don't know. It's a little harder on a high dollar ticket, but
It isn't. It isn't. I mean, it is because like it becomes harder to figure out what to do. But I think that's the other thing too that a lot of people don't think about is like at a certain point, like you can always like create leverage, like in a way that's long term. But I think it's a lot harder to figure out, and I think that's why people just go with building links, right? Because like that's something where it's like no matter what, regardless of the brand, whether you're selling rocks or not, if you build a link to a page, it's going to be a ranking factor. In comparison to like somebody who's like, hey, look, I'm going to really spend the time thinking about, what is something that like could really be like a vulnerability in this niche that I could really tap on. And like, cause like, that's what I did with my stuff. Like I figured out in the SEO niche, like a lot of people don't feel confident enough to get on camera and speak about SEO. I'm like, dude, screw it. It's not a big deal for me. I'm just going to go and start talking. I'm confident to tell you guys that like I could literally create another channel with SEO, not have a voice changer. Nobody would even know it's me. And I could just talk about random stuff around SEO and not even know that much. Like just create a video about alt tags that anybody could talk about. And that channel would grow. Like, and it would get me clients. But that's because nobody like wants to go and like put themselves out there in that niche. And that's like an untapped vulnerability.
I need to get back into that. I started making some videos. I need to get back into that. Towards the end of last year, I started making some videos, but I got so busy.
Well, that's the other thing too, is like, it's a lot easier to build a link than it is to like, not only just think about something that would be, more out of the box and probably long-term value, but like actually implement it. Cause usually it's those things that are tougher, right? But it's usually the things that are tougher that provide like really good value. And like the more you do that versus thinking about links, the better you are at identifying those things.
Like I went on one of my competitors who's a national company. You know, like we're not even in their ballpark. And looking at their backlinks, and I saw a couple porn backlinks. Yeah, I'm talking about this company is like making 30 $40 million.
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
a
there's negative
good way
SEO.
to that's a good way to tell them, hey, look, you guys have some X-rated links coming to your site. You guys should get it cleaned up.
Well, apparently Google's now just like completely devaluing links that it doesn't like trust anymore. So instead of giving it penalties, they just devalue them now. Which is actually worse for link builders because before they could tell which links were getting penalties and then they could remove them. But now they don't know. Because if they don't get penalties, then they don't know which links are not giving them value or not. So that's why I'm saying, like, Google's getting, like, links have been the thing that have been gamed since, like, the beginning of SEO. Like, next to keyword stuffing. And so you have to think, like, with the amount of money and, so, like, in AI and all this stuff that Google's bringing out, you really have to think, like, if everybody...
You really should know.
When has, like, it ever really gone well for people to, like, just follow the herd blindly? Like, ever in the history of time. And that's what's going on with the link building, like, phenomenon is, like, all these people are just following blindly. And Google, and I've been saying this since, like, a year and a half ago, and people have been literally making so much fun of me. I've just been saying it over and over. But it's fine because, like, I know it's like, you know what? I can just see the trend and what's happening. It's kind of the trend that's happening with Facebook too. If you look at that, you look and see all these people are creating these, bogus Ty Lopez videos where it's like, here in my Ferrari, go to my ClickFunnels page, register for my webinar. Like,
Or Shopify.
But that's the problem is, like, if you're seeing it right now, it's usually, like, pretty much too late. Like, not in all scenarios, like, there's still a lot of opportunity. But if you're a brand new beginner to something like that and you're following it, it's usually too late. But like I said, it's not in every scenario. But with links, I can tell you for sure, like, from what I've been seeing and from what I've been saying for so long, I just continue to see, like, all the time. It's just like, new Google update. Google doesn't take links seriously anymore. Like, new Google update. Google introduces AI. Like, new Google updates. There's like I can clearly see exactly what Google's doing. Like, they're trying, and that's for the exact reason. Like, if you think about things from a sensical standpoint, do links actually provide value to people? Absolutely not.
Well, it depends on where the link is, I think.
Okay, well, let's think about it this way. When you go and visit a website, like, say you go and search something, and, like, you hit that landing page, like, do you care about a link, or do you care about, like, how good that content is and, like, whether or not it's, like, perfect for you? And in an ideal world, do you think Google would need a link to tell whether or not, like, that user experience is amazing? Because you think that's based off anything that has to do with you, or do you think it has to do with the link?
Well, no, of course not. If you're just referring to the value of it, that's one thing. But I was saying, if it is a quality link, in other words, actually brings traffic, so that it does bring value to your site.
Okay, let me ask you the difference between that and a social, like somebody sharing something on social and bringing traffic to your site. Because social signals are, like, not even close to the power of a backlink.
That's true.
So, like, what I'm saying right now is, like, the reason why, like, links are so powerful is because that's what Google's used for so long. But, like,
right.
Do you think, like say you go visit a site from Google search results, that link has nothing to do with who you are and what you think about that page and how good of an experience you're having.
Yeah, it's still a game for the most part.
Right. But don't you think at a certain point Google's going to be able to figure out and I think they already do for the most part, exactly who you are, what you're interested in, whether or not you like the content, whether or not it's perfect for you, and whether or not that requires a link or not to tell, which in most cases, it doesn't.
Right.
But if you take a large majority of people who are in this industry, they're all saying the same thing. You know, how do I build links? What's the best backlink strategy for 2018? You know, they're all doing this
still
stuff.
the number one ranking factor.
Yeah, and it's still number one ranking factor. But like, but that's the thing is like, it's just like a blind herd following, and then like eventually what ends up happening when Google devalues all these links, it's like, okay, well, what are these people good at now? They're just kind of good at on-page, or they're just kind of good at making a brand. Where it's like, hey, look, I've been spending the last like 2 or 3 years learning all about UX, learning about user intent, like spending all of my time getting really good at this stuff, because when that hits, and say it never does, say links just keep getting devalued and devalued, which is what is happening. At a certain point, we know just by like looking at Google's AI, we know that look, Google's going to be able to tell all of this stuff based off of how good of experience people are having. So why not spend all of our time trying to figure out how to freaking optimize for that?
Yep, I agree with you.
I think the industry is going to trends. I mean, going to content though. Like, I see a lot of, like, I have a buddy who writes software, SEO software for like big companies,
Right.
and a lot of it is focused on content now. And this tool is like, I'm not going to name the tool because it's not out yet. But it's like they're going to charge like agencies like $5,000 a month.
You talking? Is it like Quora?
No, I don't know what it's like. I'll tell y'all later. But
yeah,
I was gonna say what we really need to be watching for in this next year is voice search. We got to start optimizing for that. I know that.
It's true.
It's starting to get huge, you know, and it's just going to keep getting bigger, you know, because the people that are using their cell phones for voice searches is getting massive. So.
Well, the funny thing for that too is like, apparently a lot of the searches are coming in through Amazon, which is connected to Bing.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, so far they're still Bing is still kind of going down as far as the search. I mean, even since last year it has. So maybe
but not in voice search.
Yeah.
Because everybody's using Amazon, and Amazon's trying to take over the internet.
Yeah. They're doing a pretty good job so far.
They are.
They're trying to take over the world.
Yeah, I know they got my vote. I order everything through Amazon.
Yeah.
And they're getting on the college campuses now too. There's an Amazon store literally right underneath my dorm.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
I think it's like probably one of the first ones in Florida. I'm not 100% sure, but people order on Amazon, their packages are shipped straight here, and they pick up right away.
Yeah, I was in a Whole Foods the other day, and you can order your package at Whole Foods or something, and it'll get shipped to Whole Foods. You just go to Whole Foods and
because Amazon owns Whole Foods now.
Yeah,
you bought them out.
Yeah, my buddy worked for Whole Foods, and he told me about the whole merger and stuff, and he actually made some decent coin. Like they like because they had whoever had a bunch of stock in Whole Foods, I guess, can sell their stock. Like they gave them their money for their stock.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so like my buddy like invested in like some like Bitcoin like company.
all the Bitcoin companies are just continue to grow. I mean, in my personal opinion, I think the whole thing is gonna eventually crash, and maybe like 1 or 2, maybe 3 coins are gonna stay up. Because I mean, you look at things like Dogecoin or Dogecoin, whatever it is. A joke cryptocurrency is now worth $2 billion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's silly. We're about to start taking my one of my e-commerce stores. That's what I'm actually doing. I'm actually trying to get a video set up to do a pre-roll ad on YouTube for brand recognition because we're gonna sell. You can buy our product, which is gold, with Bitcoin. So I'm setting that up. I'm hoping it's gonna be like it's on like wildfire. But the cool thing is you can use BitPay, and they give you the cash value right then and there as an e-commerce store
Dude,
or a storefront.
I think we're like too behind on times, like with how technology is advancing for Bitcoin to be worth investing in until it's like the year 2050 or something.
Think about Bitcoin. I mean, it's used for illegal activities, or that was the original purpose, at least how I view it. Bitcoin. No one can trace it. Everyone used it on the dark web. They can buy their drugs or guns or whatever they wanted without people tracing it back to them.
I'm just thinking that there's too many people like that are like, what is it? What is it after or before the millennials? What is it?
Generation X or
Yeah,
no?
there's too many. There's too many like people that are older than me.
Trying to get into it.
I mean that, but like I think there's too many people that like if you look at like a lot of the things like right now, like the school system, like our laws, like all that stuff, like that's going to take a while for those things to change. And I think a lot of that's tied to like how we view things right now as a society. And I just think we're really behind on our outlook on society, right? Like, or how society's outlook is on like how things should be right now, because like we're advancing like the fact that you have to use calculators in a math. I mean, you're not allowed to use calculators in a math class these days. Like,
I'm still not allowed to use calculators in my classes, as funny as it is. Still,
like, when are you not going to have a calculator? Like, there's going to be a point in time where we're going to have chips implanted in our brains, probably, so we can communicate with robots that are like super AI. That's what Elon Musk is like, investing in right now. And it's just like so crazy to me that we're so behind right now. That it's just like, but that's because like of how we operate. Like our technology is advancing too fast for people.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, you don't think it's important?
College in general, it's a mess.
Basic math.
What?
I said, you don't think it's important for us to still know basic math?
No, it definitely is.
Yeah, I think that's important. I think what's ridiculous, though, is that they don't give people the ability to leverage like the technology that we have. It's one thing to have a principle like, hey, look, everybody should know basic math, right? Everybody should know how to read and speak English to a certain level. But then like at another level, it's like we're not able to advance past like where we could be because we're held back by everybody who thinks like, oh, yeah, you're not able to use this on a test because that doesn't prove like whether or not you could solve that problem. It's like, yeah, I could solve that problem, but I'm not spending, all this time trying to like, because we only have so much like space to put in our brains. And do you think it's really important for somebody who's going to learn SEO to be like really good at history or like whatever it is? It's just stupid because like you like even somebody like me who's like spent like all of my time like last like 3 years just like ridiculously concentrating on SEO. I still don't think I have what it takes to be like the best in the world. Like I want to be like that level, and like for that I have, and like how many times have I used algebra for that? It's just like it's stupid. Like I think you should learn the basics and all that stuff, but like at a certain point, like people do not need to learn calculus if they're going to be doing SEO. Like it doesn't have, I mean, unless it has something to do with like what they're doing with SEO, but like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you.
I'll tell you, it's pretty funny. So after calculus, once you finish all those classes, you have to take DiffEQ, and that's when you start going like 2 and 3 page problems. On our final, we had a 3-page question, or a 3-page problem, I should say. And the teacher's like, yeah, I mean, this could be really simple. Plug in your calculator, and anyone that has any technology around them could just use a calculator. But since it's DiffEQ, you're going to pretend like you're doing this math problem on a deserted island with no technology around. That's the only time you'll ever use it. I mean, 3-page question when you can just use a calculator, done 10 seconds, rather than take 45 minutes to solve a math problem or however long it took.
Well, that's the other thing too, is like, don't you think if you're on a deserted island, that person's going to be like, hey, here's how you build an iPhone or something, not like how do you solve DiffEQ.
I think if I'm on a deserted island, I'm going to go, you know what, I'm going to solve a DiffEQ question tonight.
No, you're going to figure out how to build a kayak. That's what you should have done. You should have been like, here's a 12-step process on how to build a kayak.
Yeah, I think, but the best part is too, right? You're going to have pen and paper too, and be proctored for 3 hours or however long the final was to solve these questions as well.
No, here's what you say. You say, here's how I build a kayak. And then you say, and here's the calculator I found after I got off the island. And then you solve it with your calculator.
Another thing too is that, like, let's say they let kids use calculators. Okay, they let them use calculators. Now they can ask them harder problems.
Great. Then we advance further.
Exactly.
It's like saying, like, it's like also asking questions and not letting people use Google. It's like, what? Like, Google's there for that reason, you know?
It's like programming, you know, a lot of it is you're looking at documentation and looking at, you know, what other people have done and, you know, like Stack Overflow. And I mean, not the people who already know it, but I mean, the people learning, you know, like.
Learning in the universities in like high school for coding is a joke. So with most of the classes, what they do is you have handwritten coding tests. So you have no access to the internet or anything like that.
Yep, I did one of those.
I can't do that. Like I was originally going to be a computer engineer because I wanted to learn how to code and wanted to learn electronics, but I can't sit there at a piece of paper and just start writing out code. I have to look at everything.
That's what happened to me too, and I failed.
So that's why I switched to electrical. I mean, I'm good with math at least, so I'm fine with there. But I just can't sit there at a piece of paper and say, this is how I'm going to solve this problem. I have to test each line out. Okay, did it work out perfectly here? Great. I have to look at the documentation. I'm not one of those people that can look at a problem.
You know how they should do it? They should be like, here's like a language you've been learning all year or whatever it is. I want you to go build an app with it and come back to me. And if it's really cool and it works, then you pass. Like, that would be sick. But if you're just like writing stuff out for no reason and memorizing things that have you're not applying to anything, and then you leave school and you're like, what am I doing with my life? It's just stupid.
And it's the same way in the classes too. I mean, I've learned more engineering in my engineering clubs than I have in any of my classes. I mean, like, my I think it's digital systems, something like that right now. We're working on circuit boards. We're using Windows 7 right now and programs from like 2008, 2009. They're outdated. And inside my Lunar Knights Club, which we're building robots, it's complete opposite. Cutting edge technology, learning how to build everything, connect wires. Learn so much more there than I have actually inside the classroom.
Yeah.
And that's
are you cooking?
What?
Are you cooking?
Oh, sorry. Is that really noisy? I'm just cleaning my house.
I was like, man, save us some.
I can mute myself. I'm just cleaning my dishes.
It's not loud. It's not loud. You barely hear it.
Somebody was complaining that I was eating earlier.
Nice.
Funny.
One guy who had a programming Discord, like he did the same thing. He's doing the same thing as you, but like in the coding world, you know, like anyways, he didn't look at his Discord, right? And then one day he looks at it and he finds out that like a small group of people are talking crap about him all the time.
Jeez.
Pretty gnarly.
Wait, what? Did I get all of that?
No, what I said is the guy who is the YouTube guy. He went to his Discord channel and found out that like there were like a group of people talking crap about him for the past month, you know, and these were his friends, you know, that were like, you know, posting on his YouTube and this, that, you know.
I'm so confused. Like, wait, what are we talking about right now?
Random thoughts by Alex.
Forget it.
No, I wasn't trying to I just didn't know what you were because I thought we were talking about school for a second. I didn't know where that came from.
Yeah, I know that was so left field.
Wait, no, I want to know what you were talking about though, Alex.
No, but what I was saying is this guy who has a YouTube channel who does programming and he has classes on his website and, you know, then he started a Discord channel, right?
Right.
And then he's been so busy that he didn't pay attention to the Discord channel.
Gotcha, yeah.
And then like he went in there a couple months later and found out that they were just slaughtering him on
Oh
his own
no.
Discord.
That's what happens in my Facebook groups with like thousands of people. I'll just get in there and they're like, Chase really doesn't know what he's talking about. I'm like, dude, you know I can read this, right?
I don't understand why people complain about getting free content with education. I mean, like, people go out of their way, make all the videos, make them free. You've probably watched the videos yourself, whether you're starting out or you're a quote unquote expert. You're gonna go shit on the person that made the content for you to learn.
Well, the worst part is like they don't even watch the videos. They just talk shit.
Yeah, right.
That's one thing. Like I showed somebody your page, and they're like, "Oh, I didn't like him because like he's trying to sell me something." And then I'm like, "Well, why don't you look at his YouTube channel and see all the content he has for free?"
Yeah.
You know, it's like you have a bunch. It's not like, someone could just go in there and go over all your free content and learn a good bit.
Yeah, but that's the other thing too, is like a lot of people they actually don't even care. They just want to like, exploit the fact that I have some authority and they want to like be able to prove me wrong so that they can like siphon it to their own authority.
Right.
Shame.
Which is why so many people are like, "Oh, you didn't do the title tag on this page," and it's like they're not focusing on the fact that there's like thousands of organic traffic like this month versus last month, But they like have to like purposely tell everybody that I don't know how to do title tags.
I think everyone knows how to do a title tag.
Yeah, come on now.
That's
you don't know anything about.
That's the crazy
like,
thing though. Like
man.
I try to tell them, like, hey, look, here's a situation where I'm like teaching people like how to do title tags. Like I know how to do that. So people are like, then they just like completely take it out of like context. They're like, Chase does black hat SEO. Anyways, guys, I gotta go. I'm sorry. I was supposed to end this like 10 minutes ago or 20 minutes ago. So we'll do another one of these soon though, and let's talk on Discord and get that thing scheduled for a meeting.
Yeah, this weekend, right? Let's do something.
Or
this
yeah,
weekend.
Saturday.
All right,
Okay.
I'll set it. We'll talk to you.
All right, sounds good. See you guys.
All right, later.
Later.